okay?
Marjorie, you said that the Treanin was your favorite product for menopause.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Well, I've always been on a breakfast pack and pretty much a stress for almost 30 years. Um, but in talking with other women who are going through menopause, I've always taken about six Trianin. And when I was talking with other women over the years, it took me about 5, 6, 7, 8 years, about 8 years to go through menopause. I mean, premenopause. And when we were brainstorming at conventions, you get together and everybody talks about all kinds of things. So, but I found that other women who were having positive results were taking about 6 Trianin a day through premenopause. And a friend of mine who took, I mean, so much stuff. She was still having hot flashes and all kinds of problems, and she went up to 6. And she told me later that her issues disappeared. So, Trianin is an amazing precursor to making hormones. So it really helps support adrenal in taking over for menopause. And the other thing I think that's really important, it's also important for balancing hormones in general for all you younger women. It helps you make all the hormones you need and be more balanced as you go through your decades, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. And that shake is so helpful. We knew a lady who was a nutritionist, and doctors would send difficult patients to her. And the way she handled PMS was basically a breakfast pack, and then she would add CalMag or Multimed. And those minerals are really important. Neolife's chelated minerals, I have never seen anything as good as their minerals. Very helpful for a lot of issues that women face. So minimally, I try to get my family to take at least a breakfast pack and multivitamin. Oh,
Thank
one
you.
more thing about the shakes that's really helpful in handling almost any issue is that Neolife has been incredible. It's not just a shake. That it's glycemic balance. And if you want to live to be 100, I studied centenarianism, and people who are healthy centenarians, they actually have lived a life where their blood sugar stays controlled. And that's one amazing built-in benefit that Neolife, their scientists have technology that's incredible in balancing blood sugar. And I didn't realize, remember, I've been on their shake for almost 3 decades now. And about 5 years ago, I was at a doctor's office, and he said, "Are you diabetic?" Because he realized I was missing organs. And, "Are you diabetic?" And I went, "No." And he almost jumped out of his chair. It was the funniest thing. But basically, he told me that because I'm missing a spleen, that I had a very high risk of being diabetic. And I thought back through, what I've been doing, and I really think the Neolife shake has been just incredible. I always feel good on a shake. And then when the glucose balance came out, sometimes I would have a meal and maybe I just didn't feel so great. And the glucose balance makes a huge difference in balancing blood sugar. And if we're going to live to be 100, all of us, and be here for our kids and our grandkids and our great grandkids, we really need to be taking a serious look at our diet, and that make sure we're taking the steps necessary. And I just thank Neolife for that help.
Thanks, Marjorie.
Great question. Anybody have any more questions? I don't want to close it out.
And also, you young women who aren't menopausal yet, make sure you're what would you say? Make sure you have some kind of blood work where you know what your hemoglobin is, because it really can have serious ramifications down the road. Some women go decades with I know what it's like to live with really, really low hemoglobin, and you really want to make sure that you're keeping yours in a secure range. So, and if you're worrying about wrinkles, We like to look our best, right? Make sure your vitamin C levels are adequate, that you're taking at least one super C a day. That's what I usually suggest people do. And the government has said that the upper tolerable limit is 2,000 uh, milligrams of C a day. So that's 4 super C. That you can easily take that every day, every day. And vitamin C is very critical and very important as a catalyst in making collagen. And when women go through menopause, there's a study that shows that they're telling doctors that when your patients come out on the other side of menopause, and if in a few years they start seriously wrinkling, you need to consider having them have a bone scan, because it could be if you're wrinkling seriously, then it's an indicator possibly that your bone structure is headed towards osteoporosis. So consider, better safe than sorry. Maybe consider adding some C, or make sure your diet really is, you're choosing good food, vitamin C sources. So got to protect our skin.
Well, I have to say you have some beautiful skin.